Below that Latin inscription, you see the shield of the Holy Name. And then below that shield of the Holy Name is another Latin inscription that says, Ita a Joseph, which means go to Joseph for your needs. And then below that is the statue of St. Joseph and the Christ child. And below that is the tabernacle. And on top of the tabernacle, you see the golden crown for Christ the King. And below the tabernacle and through the legs of the altar table, you see the sacrificial lamb on the tomb of a martyr, representing the Lamb of God. If you go back up to the top of the altar, you see 4 statues going across the top of the altar. Those are the 4 evangelists. The one over here on my left is St. John, and then St. Luke, St. Mark, and St. Matthew. Below those 4 statues are statues on either side of St. Joseph and the Christ child. Over here on my right is St. Ignatius of Loyola, who was the founder of the Jesuits. And on the other side is St. Francis Xavier, another early Jesuit. If you go back up to the top above St. Francis Xavier and between the statues of St. John and St. Luke, you see some gold lettering on the blue background that says ex voto, which is Latin for from a vow, or in fulfillment of a vow, the vow that the parishioners had made to stop the cholera epidemic. And then below that in Roman numerals, you see the year 1866, which was the year that the altar was actually made, although not installed here until 1867. On the other side, between the statues of St. Mark and St. Matthew, there's some more gold lettering on the blue background that says in Latin, altar, and below that, privileged. This is a privileged altar, a privilege granted by the Vatican for whomever a requiem mass is said, that person will receive planetary indulgences. If you go above the high altar into the ceiling of the sanctuary, you see the paintings. In the center is our Blessed Mother in the Assumption mode. And on my left over here, on her right, is her parents, St. Anne and St. Joachim. And on the other side of her is Abraham, where we came from, and King David, because St. Joseph was from the house of David. The 2 kneeling angels sitting on the floor alongside of the altar in the pink robes were installed here in 1894, the same year that this pulpit was installed here and manufactured by the same company here in South St. Louis, a good Irish company called Schneiderhan. Now you know, for many decades, this church was lit by gaslight, and all the carbon from that gas went up there and stuck on the ceiling. So they had to clean that off before they could repaint it. It took them 2 years and $200,000 to clean it and to repaint it. After that was completed, they came down and they redid the pulpit. The Jesuits had painted the pulpit in off-white. So we had it restored to its natural color at a cost of $5,600. After that was completed, then we redid these columns here. These are hollow wooden columns. They're just walnut steam bent to make them circular. They put linen on the outside, and then they paint it to look like they are marble. But in fact, they're hollow wooden columns. The next project we had was to restore these pews. These are the original pews from the 1860s. Now, people ask me, why are they divided? Why do they have a division here? Well, the Jesuits used to rent out the pews. If you wanted pew 20 for the 9 o'clock Mass, you paid the Jesuits a dime. So they could then rent this side and they could rent that side and make 20 cents. People also ask me, why are they up on a platform? Well, back in the 1860s when they were installed here, heating wasn't too good and it was warmer for people to sit up on a platform. So when you get out of the pew, please step down And thank you for visiting the shrine of St. Joseph.